For me, he was better in this than he was in Nil Nil by Mouth, because he really, really sold that character well. And I think what makes Ben Kingsley's character even work, what makes Don Logan work even more, is Ray Winston's character. Because obviously, Don Logan, in and of itself, he's crazy. But what makes it work really, in a real sense for the film, is Ray Winston's character. Because you really have to buy the relationship that these two have, and you really have to buy how much Ray Winston fears Don Logan. And I think Ray Winston played that amazingly well. Like, I mean, the scene in the restaurant, basically, where the woman basically tells that that's basically Don Logan basically wants him, and he just have to say, tell him thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's like, just when you just look at the how he was confused, and you just saw the amount of pressure he was under. For me, I've never seen Ray Winston in that role before. I've never seen Ray Winston like under pressure like that before, where the guy was like, you could feel like, man, who is it? Like, his acting made you think that, who is this Don Logan? It's made you fear him even more, and I just think even throughout, and just how he was finding it so difficult to really tell Don Logan that, no, I'm not going to do this. It was amazing, and I think for me, that was just what, I think that's a bit that people miss, and I think they miss that in Don Logan's crazy performances, that they really miss how good Ray Winston was in this, But I think really, I mean, the beauty of this film, and really why I just really like this film, is like, its simplicity. It's not overly complex, and I think really for me, I think really when Ray Winston actually, I remember, okay, this is a spoiler review. When Ray Winston actually does the job, that's actually when the film just goes into, okay, blah blah, we've seen this before. I think really the heart of the film is really everything up until Don Logan actually dies. So basically up until the Ray Winston's wife basically pulls that gun on Don Logan. That is basically the film. That was basically the strength of the film. Like, all through that, the film was just amazing. It was still good until the end, but really, that was really when it was amazing, because it was about this guy just trying to convince Ray Winston to get back in this, and they really just prolonged that. And it didn't feel like, okay, yes, your beat goes on the head, okay, he says no, he says yes, but just because of how good the acting was, the levels just kept on changing and the levels just kept on changing of the same thing, because really Don Logan was just saying the same thing to Ray Winston, and Ray Winston was just saying the same thing back, but they managed to really extend that in a very interesting way. But yeah, I think really, I mean, when you're even just looking at the directing of it, for me, I think really that's actually one of the interesting things about it. When you're thinking about when Ray Winston was dreaming, like that whole thing with the rabbit, that was just mad. But I think really, I mean, the craziest scene was obviously that scene at the very beginning, with the music and everything. You actually saw the boulder coming over, and I think that, when you see films like this, you just think that, why doesn't the UK promote more films like this? I mean, you get this crap like EastEnders and Coronation Street and Emmerdale, which is just like, just forcing the stuff down your throat. It's like, no, like, it's like, this is an England that the powers that be just want to promote. But when you just look at like Sexy Beast, like, there is a lot of good talent here. Like, when you look at what the director did with this, and just how interesting the film is, and just how different it is, you think like, why aren't more films like this promoted, And that's what just, really, I mean, for me, actually, the film is not amazing. It's not like a masterful winning film, but it's just a very well made and very good contained small film. And really, obviously, really, man, I mean, I can't stop. I mean, really, I cannot talk more about this Don Logan guy. Really, he was just amazing. And I think, obviously, when I was looking at Ray Winston's interview, I was saying that, man, he was saying that, man, how is Ben Kingsley going to do this? Blah blah blah. How is he going to do this? But again, it's like, it just shows that, man, talent is talent, man. And for Ben Kingsley, he knew that, okay, he's got the talent, but he knew that, wow, man, this is a role that I've never really played before. And not many people really believe that I can play this kind of role. And I think that, really, man, I mean, when you look at that performance again, it was a pretty crazy performance. Like, pretty much, the film just switched into gear once he arrived, and then once he left, it just basically changed back into the other gear. Like, the film just changed because he was bringing so much maddening electricity to it, and like literally, like every single minute, you're like, man, who? I mean, I was just laughing every single time, because there's times where like Winston would just say to him, "No," and basically like Don Logan would say, "Will you do the job?" He says, "No, I'm not doing the job," and then he just says, "No, you're doing it," But yeah, man, I think what, talent is talent, man. Talent is talent, and I think, man, I'm just very surprised that he did actually win. Like, from that's like an Oscar-winning performance, man. Because that is really just like, when you really look at it in detail, that is serious acting. But yeah, man, anybody who hasn't seen Sexy Beast, man, you should definitely see that film. Obviously, I've already done spoiling it, but really, man, like I say, man, just watch this film. So even before you look at this review, I've even put it in the description. Watch this film. Really watch the film. Just obviously, Don Logan's performance is definitely worth watching it for, but also as well, man, it's, for me, it's Ray Winston's best performance, and it's a very interestingly constructed film, in a visual sense, and then obviously in an edited sense as well. But yeah, man, Sexy Beast, man, it just goes to show that, man, they're just films that you may think are one thing, but when you actually watch them, it's a different thing, which was with this. So yeah, I'm very glad that I actually did watch that. It was very well worth it.